Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something pretty interesting.
Ah, this should be fun.
It's Pantone's 2025 Color of the Year,
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Mocha Mousse.
Interesting.
And we've got two sources to help us with this deep dive.
Yeah.
An article from Apartment Therapy that really digs into the color choice, and then this little blurb about Mogiverse.
Mogiverse.
Yeah, it's a Vietnamese interior design app.
Oh, cool.
Uses AI. I'm really curious to see how these two things connect.
Yeah, me too.
I have to admit, Mocha Mousse, the name alone, it's got me intrigued.
Yeah.
The Apartment Therapy article describes it as a mellow brown infused with a sensorial and comforting warmth.
Wow, yeah, that does
It
sound.
just sounds so inviting,
Yeah.
almost edible.
There's definitely something deliberate about that name, I think.
Yeah.
It speaks to a desire for comfort, you know,
Mm-hmm.
for those simple pleasures that ground us.
Yeah, and it's a pretty big shift from last year's color,
Yeah, it is.
Peach Fuzz.
Which felt, yeah, much more vibrant,
Yeah.
energetic.
It makes you wonder if this move towards these, like, earthy tones
Yeah.
is reflecting a larger cultural shift.
I think you're onto something there. Remember Pantone's Color of the Year?
Right.
It's not just a random pick.
Yeah.
It often reflects broader trends,
Totally.
and what people are seeking.
So are we all just craving a bit more peace and quiet
Possibly.
after a few years of, well, everything?
The article mentions that brown colors and darker finishes
Yeah.
have been making a comeback
Okay.
in interior design.
Interesting.
There's a growing desire for spaces that feel calming
Yeah.
and connected to nature.
It's like we're craving this retreat from all the digital stimulation.
Hmm.
Maybe Mocha Mousse is the visual equivalent of a warm hug.
I like that analogy. And there's actually some science behind it.
Really?
Research in color psychology suggests that brown,
Okay.
with its connection to earth and nature,
Yeah.
can have a calming effect, even lowering our heart rate.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Right.
So it's not just a subjective feeling.
Right.
There's a physiological response happening too.
Uh-huh.
The article also mentions that Pantone believes Mocha Mousse can help foster a positive state of inner peace, calm, and balance.
That ties in perfectly with the rising interest in mindfulness and well-being
Right.
in a world that's constantly demanding our attention.
Yeah.
It makes sense that we'd crave spaces that help us unplug and recharge.
It's like Mocha Mousse is offering a visual antidote to our always-on culture.
Exactly. And this focus on creating personalized sanctuaries brings to mind
Yeah.
that Vietnamese design app you mentioned earlier, Mogiverse.
Oh, yeah. The one that uses AI to help you visualize your dream home. What's interesting is it promises to generate design ideas in just 24 hours.
That speed, it speaks volumes about our desire for instant gratification,
Yeah.
but it also highlights a shift, I think,
Mm-hmm.
towards personalization in design.
Okay.
People want spaces that are uniquely theirs, and they want them now.
It's like the dream home concept has taken on a whole new meaning.
Mm.
And I'm curious, how do you see Mocha Mousse fitting into these personalized spaces?
Well, the article suggests using it for furniture, upholstery, accent walls, linens, even decorative accessories.
Okay.
Imagine a plush velvet sofa in Mocha Mousse,
Nice.
or a chunky knit throw draped over a chair.
I'm already feeling more relaxed just thinking about it. But it's not just about creating spa-like environments, is it?
Right. Mocha Mousse can be incredibly versatile.
Okay.
It can be calming and grounding,
Yeah.
but it can also be sophisticated and stylish,
Right.
depending on how it's used.
So even if you're not into the whole, like, Zen retreat vibe,
Right.
there's still a place for Mocha Mousse in your home.
Absolutely. Think about pairing it with other natural materials like wood and linen
Okay.
for a more organic feel, or use it as a neutral backdrop
Mhm.
to highlight bolder accent colors.
I'm picturing a room with Mocha Mousse walls and, like, pops of terracotta or deep
Yeah.
teal. That would be amazing.
And those pops of color would really stand out
Yeah.
against that rich, grounding backdrop. It's
Yeah.
like Mocha Mousse gives other colors
Uh-huh.
permission to shine even brighter.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's not competing for attention.
Right.
It's enhancing everything around it. Kind of like a good friend, right?
Exactly. And speaking of friends, I think that's one of the reasons this color is resonating so strongly.
Yeah.
It has a certain humility to it.
Mm.
Pantone even describes it as unpretentious.
That's so true. It's not flashy or trendy. It just feels genuine and down to earth.
And in a world where everything feels so curated and filtered,
Right.
that authenticity is really refreshing.
Totally.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
It is. And, you know, it's funny because While Mocha Mousse feels very of the moment,
Mm-hmm.
it also has a timeless quality to it.
Yeah.
Like, it would have looked just as good in our grandparents' homes as it does in ours.
That's a great observation. There's definitely a sense of enduring
Yeah.
style there. It's not chasing trends, it's just being itself.
And that sense of timelessness is something I think we're all craving right now,
Mm-hmm.
like an anchor in a sea of constant change.
Yes, exactly. It's a reminder that some things are constant,
Right.
even as the world around us is in flux.
It all circles back to that desire for peace and stability, doesn't it?
It really does. And it makes me wonder if this whole Mocha Mousse phenomenon
Yeah.
is indicative of a larger shift
Ah,
in our values.
interesting.
Maybe we're moving away from the pursuit of fleeting trends
Okay.
and toward a more mindful
Hmm.
and intentional way of living.
It's like we're redefining what it means to have a dream home. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses anymore. It's about creating a space that truly nourishes our well-being.
I couldn't agree more. It's about curating an environment that supports our lifestyle and reflects who we are at our core.
Okay, so we've talked about how Mocha Mousse makes us feel and what it might represent culturally.
Right.
But let's get practical for a minute. The apartment therapy article mentioned that it pairs well with a wide range of colors.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite combinations that come to mind?
Oh, so many. It works beautifully with other muted shades like beige, gray, and even dusty rose.
Okay.
These combinations create a sense of calm
Yeah.
and serenity. But you can also pair Mocha Mousse with bolder pops of color
Okay.
for a more dynamic and energetic look.
So it's all about finding the right balance for your personality
Yes.
and the mood you want to create.
Precisely. You can really have fun with it and make it your own.
What about incorporating natural textures? I bet those would look amazing with Mocha Mousse.
Absolutely. Think about adding elements like wood, linen, and rattan.
Yeah.
They bring in that connection to nature that we've been talking about
Mm-hmm.
and complement the warmth of the color perfectly.
I can already picture a cozy reading nook with a Mocha Mousse armchair,
Yeah.
a chunky knit throw, and a wooden side table.
That sounds so inviting. And don't forget about bringing in some greenery
Oh,
with plants. They'll add a touch of life and vibrancy to the space.
This is making me want to redecorate my entire house. But seriously, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We've explored the meaning behind Pantone's 2025 Color of the Year Mocha Mousse.
Yes.
And we've seen how it reflects a potential shift towards a more mindful and grounded way of living.
Yes, and we've also discussed how this color can be incorporated into our homes.
Right?
To create spaces that feel both stylish
Yeah,
and soul-soothing.
exactly. So before we wrap up, what are your final thoughts on this whole Mocha Mousse phenomenon?
I think it's a fascinating example of how color can be so much more than just an aesthetic choice.
Yeah.
It can be a powerful tool for self-expression,
Mhm.
a reflection of our values,
Yeah.
and even a source of comfort and inspiration.
I completely agree. It just goes to show that sometimes the simplest things, like a well-chosen color, can have the biggest impact on our lives.
Absolutely. And it reminds us that creating a home is about more than just filling a space with beautiful things.
Right.
It's about creating a sanctuary that reflects who we are and how we want to feel.
And that's a beautiful sentiment to end on. But before we go, I want to remind everyone about that Vietnamese design app we mentioned earlier, Mogiverse.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic tool for anyone who wants to explore different design possibilities and create a space that truly reflects their unique style.
Right.
And with its AI-powered technology,
Yeah.
it can help you visualize your dream home in just 24 hours.
So if you're feeling inspired to refresh your home with a touch of Mocha Mousse,
Yeah.
be sure to check out Mogiverse. It might just help you bring your design dreams to life.
And who knows, maybe Mocha Mousse will inspire you to embrace a more mindful and intentional approach to design and to life in general.
Well said. And on that note, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Mocha Mousse. We hope you've enjoyed the conversation.
Yes.
And that you've gained some valuable insights that you can apply to your own life.
Remember, creating a space that truly feels like home is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
So keep exploring, keep experimenting, and most importantly, have fun.
And until next time, may your days be filled with the warmth and richness of Mocha Mousse.
It's kind of funny how, like, a single color can spark such a wide-ranging conversation.
I know.
We've gone from, like, color psychology to AI-powered design apps to, like,
Right.
a deeper reflection on what home really means.
That's the beauty of these deep dives.
Yeah.
We start with something seemingly simple
Right.
and end up uncovering all these fascinating connections and insights.
Exactly. And I especially love how this conversation has challenged some of the assumptions we often make about trends. Like at first glance, Mocha Mousse might seem like just another fleeting fad.
Right.
But when you dig a little deeper, you realize...
Yeah, you realize it's tapping into...
something much more profound.
Right. It's reflecting a real desire for stability, authenticity, and connection.
Yeah.
In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming.
Oh, sure.
So for our listener out there, we hope this deep dive has given you a new perspective on Mocha Mousse.
Totally.
And maybe even spark some ideas for your own space.
We always encourage our listeners to think critically about the trends they encounter.
Right.
Ask yourself, what is this trend reflecting?
Yeah.
Does it resonate with me? And if so, how can I interpret it in a way that feels personal and meaningful?
That's such a great point. It's not about blindly following trends.
Right.
It's about understanding the forces driving them. And then making conscious choices that align with your own values and aesthetic.
Exactly. And remember, creating a home is an ongoing process.
It is.
It's about constantly evolving and adapting your space to reflect who you are and how you want to live.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
How might you incorporate Mocha Mousse into your own life? And we're not just talking about your home decor.
Right.
Maybe it's about seeking out experiences that evoke that same sense of warmth, grounding, and connection.
Perhaps it's about slowing down, savoring simple pleasures, or reconnecting with nature.
For sure.
The possibilities are truly endless.
And that's the beauty of it all. It's about finding those little moments of joy and inspiration in the everyday and using them to create a life that feels both beautiful and meaningful.
So until next time, keep exploring.
Yes.
Keep creating and keep diving deep. See you next time.